Finding your place in the creative industry as a 3D artist is not easy, because there are so many possible career paths to choose from. Generally, it comes down to two choices, being a generalist or a specialist. Most artists start their journey as a generalist before specializing, because you need to know the craft before you choose a niche. Still, many remain a generalist throughout their whole career. Both paths have their individual advantages, and I want to share my personal perspective on this with you. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with the phrase, jack of all trades, but master of none. It does suggest that focusing on a specific skill seems to be the key to success, right? Just having some general knowledge of everything doesn't seem to get you very far according to that. I see many taking this as a hard truth, and others seeing more value in the diversification of skills. So in the early 21st century, another line was added to that saying, jack of all trades, but master of none is oftentimes better than master of one, which clearly states that there is indeed value in having a wide range of knowledge. Personally, I don't think there is a definitive answer to the question of whether it is better to be a generalist or a specialist. In fact, the question itself isn't new at all, and there are many historical examples we could discuss. Let's start with one jack of all trades, the Johannes Factotum. Imagine London in 1592. Robert Greene, in his early 30s, published a book named Greene's Groat's Worth of Wit. In it, he painted a vivid picture. Let me quote, "There's an upstart crow, beautified with our feathers, that, with his tiger's heart wrapped in a player's hide, supposes he is as well able to bombast out a blank verse as the best of you, and being an absolute Johannes Factotum." Who is this man? Johannes Factotum could be translated to Johnny Do-It-All and is comparable to the modern use of the jack of all trades. Greene described in this verse an upstart newcomer, William Shakespeare, fierce, confident, even arrogant. At 28, when Greene's book was published, Shakespeare had already made a significant mark as playwright and actor. Greene complains of an actor who thinks he can write as well as university-educated playwrights. Uncommon for the time, Shakespeare assumed multiple responsibilities. So, Shakespeare, a famous jack of all trades with his unconventional approach, not only defied norms, but also achieved remarkable success. Fast forward to today. The creative industry, as we know it today, evolved a lot since the Renaissance. Many new technologies were introduced, and especially in the digital age of today, you encounter challenges and possibilities Shakespeare couldn't even imagine during his time. Yet, the discussion about generalists versus specialists is still going on. Let's have a look at a big studio production. Many big studios today operate with a so-called production pipeline, a structured framework designed to create AAA games or Hollywood blockbusters. These pipelines are like creative assembly lines. There's no universal standard for them, and each studio handles their pipeline uniquely. Despite their differences, the common theme among these pipelines is their reliance on specialists. Let's dissect an example pipeline for an animated movie, typically consisting of three parts: the pre-production, the production itself, and the post-production. In the pre-production, the foundation of the project is laid. Ideas, storyboards, and basic designs are generated. You will encounter roles like writers, producers, storyboarders, concept artists, and creative directors which collaborate. Each role requires high specialization and is carrying significant responsibility for the project. Dependent on the project scale, varying degrees of specialization are needed. Moving into production, the operational phase, where the initial idea becomes a tangible creation. We encounter a wide range of specialists: modelers, texture artists, riggers, animators, VFX artists, lighting specialists, voice actors, sound designers, among many more. Finally, in post-production, we enter the refinement stage. In addition to the roles already mentioned, specialists such as editors, color grading experts, Foley artists for sound effects, and marketing professionals come into play. As the scale of production increases, the need for more specialists and higher expertise becomes apparent. In my opinion, there are only a few places for a generalist in these pipelines. Juggling different skills without mastering any particular one could hinder your progress in this part of the industry. So if your ambition is to work on games or movies in a big studio, specializing in a specific part of a production pipeline will significantly increase your chances of getting hired. What about the role of a generalist in a smaller company? There are many small agencies who just need one 3D expert for content creation. As a generalist, you can really shine there because you provide knowledge and expertise that isn't there yet. However, beware of the generalist curse even in this setting. Being the designated 3D guy in a small company can lead to overwork and lack of understanding about specialized tasks. Colleagues and clients may perceive everything you do as just 3D, without fully grasping the effort and time required for different tasks. For instance, modeling and animating a running anatomically correct cat may be perceived as equivalent to creating a high-fidelity car render for an ad campaign. As the 3D expert, you may find yourself juggling too many plates at once, leaving little time for focused attention. In these scenarios, effective communication becomes extremely important. Generalists must articulate the intricacies of various tasks to ensure realistic understanding among colleagues and clients. Balancing broad expertise with a focused approach to individual projects is key to thrive as a 3D generalist in smaller companies. But how can a generalist thrive in big studios? A great example comes from Industrial Light and Magic, a pioneer in the field of visual effects. In their video, To Be a Generalist, ILM defines a generalist as an artist proficient across multiple disciplines, including modeling, lighting, texturing, shading, FX, matte painting, animation, shot composition, and rendering. ILM recognizes the immense value of having generalists as they serve as a connecting element, ensuring the success of each shot by understanding every step in the production pipeline. What makes generalists particularly indispensable is the ability to bring an idea quickly to life in front of a client. ILM emphasizes the need for artists willing to learn and bring passion to their generalist department. This perspective sheds light on the positive side of being a 3D generalist, where expertise across various domains is not only valued but celebrated for its role in creative and successful productions. In many big studios, there are some roles that demand broad knowledge instead of deep expertise. Take the role of a producer, for instance. A producer plays a crucial role in translating the vision of the creative director into the operational business. They must stay on top of everything to ensure the timely delivery of the project. In positions like these, having a broad understanding of pipelines and the creative process is extremely important. What about 3D generalists that are not tied to big studio productions? Can they find fulfillment and success on their own terms? Absolutely. A prime example is Ian Hubert. While I can't say anything about his personal happiness, his enthusiasm and passion for his work really shows. Ian Hubert started his journey with Blender as a teenager and evolved into an absolute powerhouse within the Blender community. He developed a very strong dedication to filmmaking in 3D, which led him to direct the crowdfunded movie Project London in his early 20s. This opened another door for him, and his next significant project was directing Tears of Steel directly at the Blender Studios in 2012. You also might know Ian for his Lazy Tutorials, a series that simplified complex concepts and workflows in Blender. One of his most notable achievements is the Dynamo Dream short film series, where Ian's skill as storyteller and visual artist truly shines. His ability to seamlessly take on many roles within the realm of 3D design highlights the potential for growth as a generalist. Ian is a producer, writer, director, actor, musician, and visual effects artist, all at once. What makes Ian particularly inspiring is not just his versatility, but his commitment to purpose. He doesn't just occupy various roles, he uses his skill to bring short films to life, serving as a connecting element in each project. His journey showcases that being a generalist isn't just about versatility, it's about finding a purpose and driving it forward. By being a generalist, he became a specialist at sci-fi filmmaking. Jack of all trades but master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. So here's my practical advice. Be aware of what you want. While it might be tempting to take on the role of a generalist, especially when seeking entry into the industry, I highly advise against viewing it merely as a means to get a job. Exploring generalism at the beginning of your 3D journey is a great idea, but as you grasp the basics, set clear goals to focus on what you truly want to do. Whether you decide to continue as a generalist or specialize, the key is self-awareness and aligning your skills with your goals. What's your opinion on being a 3D generalist? Share your experience in the comments. I would love to read your stories. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and see you next time.